Good evening and a very, very warm welcome to you folks, wherever you may be. Thank you very much for joining us here on DinamoTV. It's episode 3. And, well, I can tell you what, the episodes, they're starting to flow one after the other. And guess what? The season is not that far away. In fact, for the Junior Boys NPL teams, the under-14s, the under-15s, the under-16s, and the under-18s. The season kicks off this week. And, gosh, what a scorcher it's going to be on Sunday. I tell you what, 38 degrees. There's got a lot of news building up to that. And that's basically the focus of tonight's show, folks. So hopefully all the juniors are tuning in a big way, because very shortly we'll be speaking to the under-18s coach, and he's also the football operations manager of the juniors, MICK, a larger-than-life character down at Churchill Reserve. Mickey's always got a lot to talk about, and it will be interesting to see what's been happening behind the scenes as far as the Junior NPL boys are concerned. And so it should be pretty good. Pretty looking forward to all of that later in the show. Also, later in the show, we'll be speaking to the MiniRoos and the senior women's coordinator, and that is STJEPAN Gull. He'll be joining us shortly as well to talk about a rather record-breaking off-season for Dinamo, and we'll find out more about what that means very, very shortly. But, folks, before we go on, it is time for the news desk, and we've got a little bit of news happening at Dinamo. Always is the case, so stay tuned for the news desk. Well, no, it's not the live cross. That will be happening a little bit later on. But in the meantime, it is time for the news desk. So we'll get straight into that. And look, first of all, last Thursday afternoon, St. Albans Dinamo's president Ilya Dragicevic and juniors coordinator STJEPAN Gull, who's our guest tonight, they attended a special meeting held at the club rooms of sister club Melbourne Knights, which involved a visiting delegation from Croatia, from the Croatian Football Federation. The HNS delegation included technical director and former international goalkeeper Stipe Pletikosa, HNS head instructor and also former member of the Vatreni Petar Krpan, as well as the president of the Committee for the Diaspora and a member of the HNS Executive Board, Ante Kulušić. There's a photo of them at the Knights. Present at the meeting were representatives from 3 other Victorian Croatian community-backed clubs, the Knights, the Dandenong City and North Geelong Warriors. The main topic of discussion centred around future diaspora football camps in Melbourne and how to ensure the best possible experience is had by all the young participants. Following the meeting, the HNS delegation presented our club with an original Croatian national team Guernsey, worn by 2018 World Cup silver medalist and 2022 World Cup bronze medalists Andrej Kramaric and, of course, Luka Modric. St. Albans Dinamo is keen on developing this concept further and giving all kids of Croatian Croatian extraction in Victoria an opportunity to experience this wonderful camp. Also making news is the buffet night is back, folks. Get ready to feast as Dinamo's buffet night returns for 2024. To be held on Friday the 9th of February, so next Friday week if you like, commencing from 6:30 p.m. onwards. The cost of tickets are adults $30, kids under 16 $20, kids under 10 $15. On the mouth-watering menu, as you can see there by the slide on your screen, there will be pork belly, sarma, chavape, salt and pepper squid, pita, scallop potatoes, desserts, plus lots more. And there will also be live entertainment provided. I believe it's Grupa Accord, very popular Melbourne group. You'll be able to collect your 2024 membership before the season kicks off. The bookings are essential, folks. No walk-ins. To book, contact Anna on 0401 505 100. There it is on screen. Make sure to give Anna a ring and book your tickets. Now, the Gorse Beach Bears will be playing on that night. So our affiliate, if you like, the Gorse Beach Bears, opening their Australia Cup campaign next Friday night at 7:30 p.m. against Western Eagles at Churchill Reserve. So there you go. Come down to the club. enjoy the buffet night, and then straight after that, have a little bit of, you'll be able to have, take in the Football Action Australia Cup already kicking off. Now, speaking of the Gorse Beach Bears, they will be celebrating their 20th anniversary with a special gala at the Dinamo Club Rooms on Saturday, 24th of February. Major Minor will be the band providing the entertainment, and there are the costs: $80 for adults, pensioners and youth, that is 12 to 17-year-olds, $60. And if you want to reserve, and there aren't that many spots left, give Marco a ring, and the number there is on your screen, 0422 115 649. And last but not least, this weekend on Saturday, in fact, all the attention turns to Ralph Reserve in Sunshine, home of Western Suburbs, State League 1 side Western Suburbs, and they will host our DinamoTV in our final pre-season friendly. The 23s kick off at 3 p.m. and the seniors then kick off at 5 p.m. So, folks, do get down to Ralph Reserve and see our boys in action one last time before the season kicks off properly Saturday week. So it should be really riveting stuff. Well, not Saturday week, in 2 weeks' time, I should say. February the 10th I think it's Saturday week, when we take on Port Melbourne Sharks at their ground. That's it, folks. We're going to have a very, very short break. When we return, it'll be time for our very, very first guest, and we will be speaking to Mickey Pete, the man who is the under-19, under-18s coach in the Junior NPL boys section, and he's also the juniors football operations manager. Don't go away, folks. Mickey Pete coming up straight after this short break. All right, we're just moments away from the interview with Mickey Pete, folks, and here it is. Welcome back to DinamoTV. It is episode 3, and the guests just keep coming thick and fast. And we got a ripper this week. He's a man who's certainly larger than life. Everyone knows our next guest down at Churchill Reserve, and it's an absolute pleasure to welcome to DinamoTV the coach of the Junior Boys under-18 NPL team, and he's also the football operations manager for the juniors. Very warm welcome to DinamoTV, Mickey Pete. Good evening, Mick. How are you?
Good. Thank you, mate. Thank you for that intro.
Now, I'm told that and the role really sort of is football operations director, but that kind of gives the connotation you have to wear a suit and tie and be a bit of a gospodin, as we say in Croatian. Not to your liking.
Not me. No, I prefer shorts and the t-shirt, 100%. Yeah, look, I do the football operations role within the junior structure here at Dinamo, and also work with Jason with the seniors as well. Yeah. So yeah, it's a joy.
Excellent. Well, you're the perfect person to bring on and talk about the Junior Boys NPL teams. At Dinamo, we've got 4 of them, from the under-14s, 15s, 16s, and the 18s. And the season kicking off this weekend, so we'll quickly go through the fixtures this week. And there's a little bit of, there could be some changes as well. But there's the kickoff for round 1, the qualification phase against the Brimbank Stallions. Our near neighbours, we could say that. All the games are at Churchill Reserve, and there's the kickoff times on the screen: 14s at 9:30, 15s at 11:10, 16s at 1 o'clock, and the under-18s at 3. But Mickey, that could change.
It sure can. At the moment, we're in conversation with Football Victoria and with Brimbank Stallions. Football Victoria have brought out a new heat policy regarding NPLs and the senior structure. And so we are looking at a very hot day this Sunday. They're forecasting 38 degrees. So we have offered to play on both our pitches, so pitch 2 and pitch 3, and start our games early and hopefully finish our games before the heat gets too hot down here at Churchill Reserve.
No, that's a very, very good initiative by Football Victoria. We do like to criticise Football Victoria, but from time to time they come up with some very, very good logical, suggestions, innovations, and that certainly is one of them. I mean, you've got 14, 15, 16-year-old boys, kids, running around in that heat. It certainly isn't healthy, is it?
No, especially if you look at the peak of the day, which is 3 o'clock, and the under-18 is going to kick off.
Yeah.
The under-16s will finish off. Yeah, look, the under-14s and 9:30 will still be okay. But yeah, with the heat policy, what they've suggested is anything over 29, 30 degrees.
Yep.
It's up to the discretion of the referee regarding if he believes it's too hot for the players or the drinks breaks that they allow is not enough, then they will, can the game and play it at a different time. So we're trying to get in early. We're trying to step in early, be proactive, and get the games nice and early done.
Yeah, fantastic. No, that's great. Let's look at the league, teams themselves. And first of all, let's go through each individual team. We'll go through the under-14s, who you do know a little bit about, but that's certainly we don't have anything to compare them to from last year as far as the NPL boys competitions. But nonetheless, a new coach there in Sunny Pegarin taking care of the under-14s, Mickey.
Yes, last year we had two of the senior boys coach this team, which was in the under-14 community. So they played 1 year above, played 11v11 full pitch. So yeah, look, we had Christopher Dibb and Ivan Razumik coach them. So now we've got a new NPL B licensed coach in Sunny Pegarin. And look, it is a hard group. And my son's in that group, Christian, my younger boy, but they love him. They love the coach, and I think that they'll do very well this year.
Let's quickly go through those players. So the 16-player squad: Aidan Hughes is the goalkeeper. Then we've got Armin Elias, Aidan Eldim, Daniel Brkljacic, Dean Allport, Dominic Bilic, Duvan Tadic, Harvey Turk, James Tabakis, Christian, as you mentioned, Pete, Lucas Burke, Luka Movic, Marko Raspudic, Marko Smolic, Sebastian Vlachek, and Xavier Boulos. Now, that's an interesting point you brought up, Mick, and I'd love to chat more about this. And I guess if there are any viewers at the moment who are not of the Dinamo family, but members of other clubs, we first of all welcome you to DinamoTV. But this might be something that might be very interesting as a wider discussion. Last year, as you said, the under-13 team played up in the under-14 competition. And for those of you that aren't in the know, once you get to under-14, then you start playing 11v11 full ground as opposed to box-to-box 9v9. How did the boys, firstly, and you as a parent and as a coach as well, how did you find them stepping up to the higher age group?
Yeah, look, I coached that team in a 9v9 situation, so I was their coach. First, STJEPAN Gull had that team from under-7s up to under-9s, and then I took over under-10s, under-11s, and under-12s, so I had that team for 3 years. And I felt that they had it in them to step up. Obviously, it's a year-by-year evaluation of the team and the competition and all that kind of stuff. We've done it for 2 years now. Our under-15s initially started at under-14 community. They skipped under-13 Kangaroos, and so did our 2010 group of under-14s. So, I think it's a club evaluation with our technical director, with our football department, and we then make a decision on what's best for that team. The good part about it is you can go from a 9v9, which is really half pitch, not even box to box, it's half pitch, and usually have 12, 13 players in the team. And last year we were able to put 16 players in that team, bring in a bit of structure. Look, we lost a couple good players out of that team to A-League clubs.
Yep.
For their development and all that, it's probably a step in the right direction for a couple of those players. Couple really good kids. You don't want to lose anyone in the club, but you understand when they do step up and go into those those A-League setups.
And we're always proud of the fact that they started with us and they've now moved forward. They've progressed. It's not like they're going sideways or they're regressing. They're actually going forward, and we'd like to think that the environment, the coaching that was provided, all of those little factors helped in some way fashion them to be the player that it is. And who knows, maybe one day they'll return to the club as a player.
Yeah, no, exactly right. We always open the door to all these players. I still see just from this year alone, the two boys that did leave in Luka Gull, STJEPAN's son, goalkeeper, Western United, and Jack Pavlinovic, he left as well for Western United. They're still always around. They come to the club. They love the club, and we love them. We love them coming and being part of the boys and all that kind of stuff. Look at that team there alone, going through those numbers, probably about 10 of those kids are Marley Plavi at our club. So they've been at our club for a good 6-7 years.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And that's the important part,
Yeah, absolutely. And that is just testament to the youth development at Dinamo to see 10 out of those 16 players having been at the club since, as you say, the Marley Plavi. Now we'll move along to the 15s. Mark Torpic, who was coaching the 14s last year, he's remained with this team as they've moved up. And tell us a little bit about the players from this team that were last year's under 14s.
Yeah, look, Mark has obviously stepped up to the under 15s and took this team now for the second year in a row. Mark is also another B licensed coach who also works with the Western United senior structure. So, he implements a lot of professionalism into that team and into our club. There's a lot of kids there, a lot of kids in that have been here for 7-8 years as well. So the original team, and look, it's a testament again to that team, to the parents, to the setup, to the former coach of that team, whose son's in that team, Marko, so Ivan Mioc, who's an assistant coach to Mark, and also to Tommy Mikic, who also helps Mark with the boys, because it is one of those funny age groups under 15s. So as possible.
Yeah, no, that's true. Let's go through some of those now. Let's go through the squad. Aswath Salva Kumaran, Blake Kochankovsky, Cruz Borg, Dominic Mamone, Dylan Bosanko. Spelling mistake there. Yeah. Apologies. Jake Brkljacic, James Rumoro, Luka Kožul, Maxi Mikulic, Marko Mioc, Nicholas Lagozzo, Nigel Pham, Nikola Kasic, the goalkeeper, Noah Sakal, Reese Bosanko, and Thomas Peric. Now, mate, you're a proud Croatian, as am I, and we're a very proud Croatian club. But you even look at those names there. What a United Nations of players! Isn't it great to see? Players of youngsters of families of different nationalities coming to Dinamo and really seeing and loving the community feel of the club.
Yeah, look, we got a saying here. It's been going for a while. They're Dinamo boys, yeah. They're not Croatian boys. A lot of those players, Italian, Greek, all different background. They come to our club in our Marley Plavi, and they love our club. And their parents love our club. They love our community, and they're a big part of our community. So we always mention that they're all Dinamo boys, and that's our Dinamo family.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think every supporter, every player, every parent knows a little bit of Croatian. I'm not talking about the swear words. I'm talking about our hashtag Mismo Dinamo. Right, everyone knows that. But let's go look at this team, how they performed last year. If we look at the ladder there, well, first of all, in the grading, Dinamo finished in 7th position and as a result qualified for Division 3, the Northwest. And performed very, very well, taking our top spot in Division 3. But the plan, obviously, this year is for them to finish in Division 2 or Division 1 even.
Yes, no, definitely. Look, I think in the first phase, so the first 11 rounds that we play in that west region of NPL, Junior NPL, I think they definitely deserve to be higher than what they finished. But the coach worked hard, the parents, everyone put in, and they done very well during the season. Like I said, they won the Division Northwest, Division 3, But definitely this year, we as a club, and also Mark Topic and his coaching team there are definitely looking for Division 2, Division 1.
Yeah, it is a very, very hard division when we think about it. The Western Division is really difficult. You've got teams like the top three teams there: Western United, Altona Magic, North Geelong Warriors, Avondale FC as well. Another team that's always thereabouts. So it's such a tough division to finish in that top three. You've got to be damn good, but even to finish in that next three from 4 to 6 is also very good. But Mick, on another note, and look, last year was the first full year of this, let's call it the 33-round season that Football Victoria have implemented. So the two-phase, the 11-round grading system, and then a 22-round home and away season. 40 weeks commitment, I think that must be every kid's dream to play that many weeks. I don't know, that maybe the parents enjoy, maybe the parents don't, but I'm sure the parents are having a little bit of withdrawal symptoms, and now that's going to be cured by the start of a new season this year. But from a parent's point of view, from a coach's point of view, and I guess from someone who's been involved with the club for a long, long time, how do you think of this new format? Well, what do you think of this new format?
Well, to be honest, Tonchi, it's a long season. I think it's a long season for everybody.
Is that a good thing? Bad thing?
Yeah, look, I think it's a good thing because you get a lot of football.
Yeah.
I think for parents, it's a big commitment, and I thank all our parents. And look, we as a club, we try to do things like for the Australia Day weekend that just passed, we had games on Thursday. We gave the weekend away to parents, and we said, look, enjoy yourselves. It's a free weekend. We know we've got 11 rounds coming up. And your probably next break will be an Easter break.
Yeah.
Or actually, it's not this year. This year will be a little bit after an Easter break, because it's going. The format is going for an extra week longer, and Christmas is coming early this year. So, look, I think mentally is the problem. Like we saw it last year. You need to obviously get up and get organised and get ready for the first 11 rounds. 11 rounds are the most important. So once you get up and you get going, then you come into the regular season. So you think you look at what's more important as a club. I think our emphasis on I think everyone's Junior NPL emphasis is on the first 11 rounds, because you want to qualify the best you can, and then obviously once you qualify into that league is to then restructure and set yourself up for the second phase.
Yeah.
And we always notice that, coming into the middle of the year, we do a futsal program at the club. So one night a week, we're indoors, we're away from the weather, just to re-stimulate the parents and kids for the long season. So, we use a facility close to Dinamo, and we use it every Wednesday, and it's just nice. It's just an hour and 15 minutes of hardcore futsal, and the kids love it. So it's something that we do to just mentally for the mental exhaustion of the whole year. I'm
a big fan of futsal, and I believe with futsal it just teaches close ball control skills, and it's just absolutely fantastic. Mickey, we're going to take a very, very short break, and when I say short, very short. When we return, we'll look at the under-16s and your team, the under-18s. Folks, don't go away. It's DinamoTV. You're here with Mickey Pete. He's our guest for this evening. Welcome back to DinamoTV, and Mickey Pete, we're talking about the NPL Boys Juniors. Let's have a look at the under-16 team, and here we go. Coached by Pat Mangian, and if we quickly go through the team, there's a team there: Bekim Gegay, Cruz Bodu, Daniel Reicher, Dino Krmek, Elijah Camilleri, Eric Magro, Lucas Hanania, Luka Mishkovic, Marcus Stowski, Max Wojtek, Oscar Stenkovoy, Pavel Bilic, Ron Chen, Sebastian Camilleri, Stephen Reicher, and Will O'Connor. Tell us a little bit about the under-16s, who were last year's under-15s.
Yeah, look, I think that's most exciting and the most. So we worked with Pat last year. Pat joined that team last year, and obviously he stepped up to the 16s this year, and they recruited really well. I think in the preseason they've done really well in the results, and I hope they take a lot of confidence out of that and start off really well in the season, because there's some really good players in that team. Obviously, again, probably a lot of those players are coming from the 8-9 years at that club. Marley Plavi, there's a lot of boys there. We've got 2 sets of twins in that team, so that's
oh gosh,
two, the Raya brothers and the Camilleri brothers. There's 2 sets of twins in that team, but it's a really good mix in that team. I'm really excited to, obviously as an 18s coach, to always watch them and to hopefully promote as many as I can into the 18s through the season, and give them the opportunity to showcase all the hard work they put in.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Well, if we look at last year's performance, say they were the under-15s last year, finished in 8th position during the qualification phase, so that automatically put them into the Division 3 competition. I guess not the best of finishes. They finished in 9th spot, but look, having had 1 year of experience now of playing, knowing what they're up against, knowing the experience, and you did touch on something that it's a tough age group, that isn't it, the 16. Sometimes they get pulled from pillar to post, i.e. some of the better players get put up to the 18s or even higher. And then that can sometimes really have a bit of an impact on the results, but it's not all about the results, is it? Sometimes you've got to look at the bigger picture, don't you?
No, definitely. We always notice between the 15s and 16s the growth of the players. So I'm just talking about physical growth. Going through that stage of puberty and all that kind of stuff. They're all over the shop. So emotions and just a bit of everything. So we like to manage them. Like I said, they got a good coach there in Pat to really push them this year. And like I said, I think they just lack a little bit of consistency. And more than anything, a little bit of belief. So hopefully they're watching this and they see the support that we're giving them and I'm giving them, and I really want to see them do really well because, like I said, I can see we've played a couple of practice games with them, the under 18s and 16s, in just grudge matches in the preseason, and they have really improved, their structures and their understanding and their physicality too. So that was the hardest part. So, like I said, they will be hopefully, minimum Division 2.
Yep.
And I think they can do really well in the first phase of JNPL.
Yeah, no, that's great to hear. That is really good to hear. Let's move along now to the under 18s, and this is your team, and that's one thing that you mentioned as well, like the physicality. Boys these age can change dramatically. So a team that, say, for example, this team may have been under 16s last year, it's a completely different team because in the off season they've maybe hit the gym, the testosterone is fueling muscle growth, etc., etc. Some of them have had late bloomers and had these growth spurts late, but it can basically be an entirely different team, can't it?
No, definitely. Like this team again. Like I'm looking at the names, and there's been a lot of those kids that in this team that have stepped up as well to the under 23s. Even one's got a senior contract at 07. So I'm going very young this year. There's a lot of 07s, a couple of 06s. Look, I'm really excited for what this bunch of boys can do. I think we had a hit out against the under 23s on Monday night, and I think they earned their respect from the spectators, and from the 23s because they really put in a good effort, and really showed that they're going to be a good team. They've got good culture in that team. There's a couple of good players in that team. And I think they just need to work hard, gel, and push from there. So
it's a big squad, the 20-player squad. So we'll go through it. Zach Di Fiore, goalkeeper. Adam Abdallah, Alex Galea, and Andre Mihocic, Aaron Imeri, Brandon Valamios, Giuseppe Prestonensi, Jackson Konezic, Jacob Matthews, Jonathan Galvan, is it, or Glavan?
Galvin,
all right, Galvin. Joshua Angeles, Lenson Chen, Lucas Rage, Max Krainer, Marco Pete, Nayan Nair, Nicholas Masidi, Omar Koban Halil, Thomas Moiko, and Tommy Naidovsky. And if we look at, I guess, if we do look at last year's under-18s, it's a different unit, the team altogether. But last year finished in a credible 6th position after the qualification. Meant that Dinamo last year's under-18s qualified for the 2nd division and then finished in 10th position in what was a very, very difficult, tough competition. How many of those players are still from last year's under-18s?
There's not many.
Not many, yeah.
It's mostly 017.
Yeah.
2 06 teams, 06 players, mostly it's an 07 group. So most of these that I coached last year, obviously there's a new addition. There's 6 players new to that team.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of them. So we finished in the under 16s competition. We finished in the 6th position. So we were in Divi 2.
Yeah.
Then we finished, I think, 4th overall, where we had a chance to win it later on in the season. We had a lot of injuries to certain key players, and we didn't end up getting winning the Division 2, but the boys really fought hard, and it was for the whole season. So it was really good to see.
Yeah, no, excellent. That's really good, mate. A huge season ahead. Obviously, it's all culminating with the Australian-Croatian soccer tournament, and dare I say, there will be a few of those under-18s probably pushing for a spot. Maybe not, if not in the first team, certainly in the reserves team. So a lot to look forward to, a lot to play. Mate, what's your message? And I'm sure all of the juniors are watching. If they're not watching this live, sure they're going to watch replay of it. What would be your message for 2024 to all of those juniors, all the way from the under-14s all the way up to the under-18s?
I think, look, most important is they've got to work hard, and a good positive mindset, and just a great understanding of where they are and what they want to achieve. So, like we had a chat with the under-18s last week, and I think most other teams have, of what they want to achieve. So, as a whole and individually, that conversation. So I think most important is to listen to your coach, work hard, respect one another, respect your teammates, and respect the opposition. I think we talk about it a lot, but as a club, as we are a community at Dinamo, it's very important that we respect one another, respect our parents, other parents, everyone, because at the end of the day, it's a game we all love to play, and we all want to play it in a good fashion.
Mick, all the very, very best for season 2024 on and off the park as well. Thank you for joining us tonight on DinamoTV.
Thank you, Tonchi, and we'll probably see each other on the shows later on. A couple of
that you will, 100% guaranteed. Good on you.
Thank you.
Mickey Pete, the under-18s coach for the boys NPL, and he's also the football operations manager for the juniors. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, it's time for our second guest for tonight, STJEPAN Gal, who is the coordinator of the MiniRoos. Don't go away, folks. Welcome back to DinamoTV, and yes, Football Outwear Show. We got some good news earlier today. It looks like a large, rather significant sponsorship is going to go ahead, and Football Outwear Show will be back sometime, hopefully in February. So on a Sunday night, get your fix of all the NPL and VPL action in Victoria with the Football Out West show. Now, as you know, that was a pre-recorded, as you can tell, that was a pre-recorded interview with Mickey P. I caught up with him earlier today, and shortly afterwards, Mickey did ring me up and he said, in all of the haste and so much information, he forgot to mention his assistant. How can you forget your assistant? But a big shout out to Mickey's assistant in the boys under-18s team, and it's none other than senior player Christopher Dibb, who was last year's vice-captain, and Christopher is now helping mould the next generation and future-proof his transition into coaching at Dinamo for many, many years to come. That's really good news and great to see that they've got a dynamic duo there at the helm of the under-18s, so we're expecting a lot of things. And as Mickey said, it's quite a young under-18s team. They could quite easily play 2 years in that category, but there's some very, very good talent, and some of those players have already been identified as future prospects, and certainly they will be playing in the under-23s at some stage throughout the season. It's time now, folks, to move on to our next guest, and it is an absolute pleasure to welcome to DinamoTV. He's the MiniRoos coordinator, and he's also the coordinator for the senior women's. And as I said, it's a great pleasure to welcome STJEPAN Gal to DinamoTV. STJEPAN, good evening. How are you?
Very well, Tonch. How are you?
I'm well, mate. I'm well. How are you enjoying the DinamoTV concept?
No, it's been really good. I think it's been very informative and sort of being a first in its kind, like you've mentioned previously. So it's it's good to start sort of pushing the bar forward and getting sort of the Dinamo name out there on a social media platform, and discussing things that are happening in and around the club, and giving people time to listen and sort of give the kids a bit of a rap in relation to what they do, and sort of giving them a bit of credit. So it was good to see the NPLs getting named individually.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more with you. And bring up those times now. As Mickey did say, those times are likely to change. And STJEPAN, have you got any updated information with regards to that?
Not at the moment. But I think the 14s and the 15s will be playing on pitch 2, I think, and the 16s and 18s on pitch 3. But I'm not 100% on the time yet. So Mick will probably update the coaches or the team managers later on tonight, or shortly, I guess. So
we'll find out very shortly, and do keep an eye out on the St. Albans Dinamo socials as well. We'll update you with the latest. But I know I've heard of a few clubs that are having 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock kickoffs, and having games being played on 2 simultaneously at the same time. Now let's talk about the juniors. Now we're talking about the MiniRoos, and mate, let's talk about the figures, but we have got some incredible figures. And we're still about, a month and a half away from the start of the season. But I'll pop this slide up. This was updated as of yesterday, but I'm sure in the next few weeks that's going to increase. We've had a 20% growth in overall numbers in the MiniRoos. And the boys have increased from 130 to 140. So that's a gross increase of 8%. But look at the girls. Last year we had 41 girls. This year, at the moment, we've got 64. Now, as it stands, that's an increase of 53%. STJEPAN, tell us what's going on.
Look, I think the World Cup had a big thing to do with that. We are trying to sort of focus more on the women's game, and trying to give that support as much as we can in sort of helping that grow and that program grow. And this year I think it's taken another step in the right direction. We've now put on a girls coordinator, Maria Chanturi. So she's going to be sort of assisting and helping all the girls coaches throughout the year, and sort of making sure that the coaches are accountable to sort of sticking to the program and providing the right education to our Dinamo girls or Dinamo kids. and giving them the skill set both in being a good person and holding the right values, as well as helping them become better soccer players as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic news. It's astounding, that growth. If we pop that stat up there, 204 in total, and that's, folks. This is just the MiniRoos. Remember, this doesn't count the juniors, doesn't count any community teams, does not count the seniors. So it's
and no Mali Plavi in there either. So.
And no Mali Plavi. And speaking of the Mali Plavi, what were the figures last year for that?
Last year, I reckon we had close to 50 Mali Plavi kids. So, in saying that, it's probably the first year in a while where we've sort of had 2 under-7 teams. I know last year we did, but this year we had 2 under-7 teams pretty comfortable. Or comfortably, should I say? Yeah. So that was really good. There's a lot of mums and dads that sort of help sort of coach and put their time aside to sort of put that little program together and get the kids to the club on a Thursday and get a bucket of chips or a chivap roll. So, there's nothing better when you see 3, 4, 5-year-olds running off the pitch and go, "Mum, Dad, I want food," and the parents are going, "No, go back and train." So,
now for the viewers that don't know what the Mali Plavi program is, or translated into the little blue ones, tell us how it started and what's its purpose and what is it likely to look like this year.
Yeah, so the Mali Plavi program, I'd probably say it started, I reckon, what are we now? Probably 10 years ago, I think. So probably before my time joining the committee, if not longer. I'm guessing it was just sort of to start building the junior program from scratch, pretty much, because there was a time where, once upon a time where probably the juniors were struggling with numbers and that sort of thing. So, you got to start from the ground up. And I think that was a really good initiative started by the club and bringing, back young families and young kids from 4 or 5-year-olds. And, like Mick said in the previous segment, a lot of those kids from, 18s and 16s and the 15s, have been through that Mali Plavi program. So, it's about building that sort of, passion or for the club. So it's, it's a really good program. I think this year we'll probably be kicking it off somewhere after Easter. So it'll probably be the first week or second week of April. Information for Mali Plavi hasn't been sent out yet, but that will be probably coming in the next couple of weeks. So it's, it's a good program, gets the kids moving a little bit, gets them introduced to the game a little bit earlier than probably we were. Especially because these days kids are pretty much on their phones and tablets, which it's okay now because you're watching DinamoTV. So
that's right, exactly right. This is acceptable when
that's right.
When the sun goes down outside. And that's how we grew up, isn't it, STJEPAN? I mean, we used to be out on the roads, out in the streets, out in the whatever, until the sun came down. Then your mum would be calling you to come inside for večera, for dinner. But these days, it seems to be so structured and everything seems to be so regimented. You have to be everything appointed. How's this on the parents? I mean, the poor parents, they have to drive around. You find that the parents then, when they come to these Mali Plavi programs, the MiniRoos, they gel a little bit better, makes it easier. They make friends and things like that themselves.
Yeah, look, the parents play a very pivotal part with the kids and how they behave, and the culture we sort of want to build around the club and the values we want to sort of instill, within an early age, within the kids as well as within the parents, and the coaches as well, sort of leading that. But I do take my hat off to a lot of parents and everything they do. Does it build relationships? Yes, it builds relationships within the parents and the children. So there's a lot of positives that come out of that. So it's a good starting point for anyone that's sort of thinking about football or getting their kids involved in football. It's a good starting point.
Well, we've got the Marley Plavi program. We've got the MiniRoos. Obviously, we've got the junior season kicking off in April after Easter. So lots happening in that space. And this year, folks, through DinamoTV, we'll be providing a lot of coverage on a platform for a lot of these youngsters and juniors and what you're not, to showcase their skills. But in the meantime, STJEPAN, have we got capacity? Are we taking more MiniRoos players?
Look, probably there's maybe a couple of more spots within the under 11 Wallabies. Potentially maybe 1 or 2 spots within the 14s community team. We're still looking for a 14s community coach. So if anyone out there is looking to coach or wanting to coach or expand their sort of horizons in coaching a junior team, would really love for you to get in touch with the club. There's room, but we're pretty much at capacity. I reckon there's not much room to move. So this year, with our trials, we did our trials in late November, or mid-November, and it was a pretty good uptake. There was a couple of teams that we had to sort of source a few more players, but all in all, it was pretty good. So like myself, like everyone else, everyone's still learning. So yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll pop that slide on again with the increase of 20%. It was definitely a very good uptake, and a kudos to everyone who's come on board, all the coaches and everyone working behind the scenes. And folks, let's get it up to 25%. Let's round it off to a nice round figure and get it up to 25%. Now, mate, you're a very, very busy man yourself, apart from being a parent and driving your kids around and all of that kind of stuff. But you look after the MiniRoos, but you're also the senior women's coordinator. Let's talk about the senior women's. We had our coach Tommy Pondelyak on the show last week, so the training has commenced. Yeah, and we are looking for a few more players in the senior women's team this year. STJEPAN, tell us a bit more.
Yeah, so we are looking for a couple more players. Probably not within the defensive stocks, so more sort of midfielders and attackers. So if anyone sort of that. They play in state too, so it's a pretty competitive league. Last year they finished 4th in the league. I coached them a couple of times last year, and they're a really good bunch of girls, and they play some really good football. So I think there's probably 3 or 4 more spots that Tommy and his coaching staff would be keen to get some other women on board to support the team and really push, potentially even to finish higher than they did this or last season. So, Tommy's done a really good job along with Andrew and Ilya in sort of, picking up the program and driving it really well and sort of keeping as much as you can a professional sort of environment, and then also, and kudos to couple of the senior women as well, stepping up this year and coaching. We've got Yana Chelina sort of coming in and coaching the under 7, under 8 girls, as well as I think there's a couple other girls that are going to be helping her throughout the year as well. So they're putting themselves around the club and which is important, and trying to share their knowledge with the younger generations coming through. So it's really important. Yeah.
Brilliant. Now, we've put some links in the comments section in the chat there. 2 links. One is a link to a jot form. So you can fill out the expression of interest for the senior women's team at that link. So there's a jot form link there. And just below that, there's a YouTube link as well. And that's a link to our YouTube channel, the St. Albans Saints YouTube channel, and the replay of last week's program. So you can jump on there if you haven't already. And you can listen to with senior women's coach Tom Pondelyak talk about the women's program and what's in store for the senior women's team this year. So lots to talk about in that area as well. Now, STJEPAN, we've got tomorrow the Guernsey presentation happening for for the seniors in the under 23s. We've got next week, we've got the buffet, and then we've got the season starting proper. After that, we've got the first home game of the season. Then the sponsors, it sponsors the following week. So much is going on. So much is happening. How is the club doing behind the scenes? How are the volunteers and all of that?
It's we've been doing it for a while. So this is, I think, my 6th or 7th year within the committee. So, there's a lot of people that help out. A lot of, our members and the parents that, put their hand up each week and help out, which is, again, thank you for that. And, we're really grateful for all the help that you as members and parents provide the club. It's going to be pretty busy. So we've got I think the Junior NPLs as well, presentation tomorrow as well. So they will be alongside the 23s and the seniors. So, it's going to be a busy couple of weeks or a month or so. We've got the IND Gala Day, which will be happening as well in the first week of April after Easter. The MiniRoos are going to be pretty flat out as well. So it never stops, but it's good. I'm like I say to everyone, I'm there anyway. So I'm with my kids. I get to spend time with my kids, and that's the main thing.
Absolutely, mate. Looking forward to speaking to you on a regular basis throughout the year. Good luck with the MiniRoos. Good luck with the senior women. And mate, thanks for joining us on the program on DinamoTV tonight.
I appreciate the time, Tunch.
Good on you. Well, folks, that brings us to the end of episode 3 of the DinamoTV show. We will be back again next Thursday, and all the attention turns to the start of the NPL Victoria season, kicking off Saturday week. And next week, we'll be speaking to the captain. The captain will be announced at the Guernsey presentation on tomorrow night at the club. And we will also have all the results, all the fallout from round 1 of the Junior Boys NPL season opener, which is going to be played in scorching conditions. That no doubt those times will change. More than likely, they will change. But in the meantime, from me, Tonchi Prusak, your host for DinamoTV, thank you very much for being a part of tonight's show. And let's spread the word. Share the footage, share this video, whether it's on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever. Share it, and let's get the more people watching DinamoTV, tuning into this program each week, and really building up that brand that is St. Albans Dinamo. Good night, folks, and Mismo Dinamo.